Hanna-Barbera
That's
really,
fantastic.
they had they were the originators of television animated programming, not just for kids, but like you said, the Flintstones was like Fridays, I think, at 8 o'clock or 8:30 or something like that. And it was, you know, obviously an homage, let's call it an homage. We have an IP lawyer here who might disagree, but to the Honeymooners, and was probably their most successful show forever and ever and ever. But,
And Top Cat was an homage
yes.
to the Phil Silver show.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Johnny Quest was an homage to a radio program called Jack Armstrong All-American Boy, which they originally actually, Doug Wildey, who created Johnny Quest, thought that he was creating an animated series of Jack Armstrong, but they couldn't get the rights to it, or they wanted too much money or something like that, yeah. And so he's like, well, let's just make him 10 years younger and call him Johnny Quest.
And you can see everybody here knows this, but the scene in the credits where you see the spears hitting the side of the plane as it takes off, and the hovercraft with the people in it that are like, who are those people? They look like the Quest Gang. That was some test footage that they made to sell the Jack Armstrong show.
Right. And, you know, of course, being Hanna-Barbera, they never threw anything away, because that would be like throwing money away, right?
I got a little trivia for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know. Tim Matheson from Animal House did the voice for Johnny Quest.
And also for Chase from Space Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And has written a book about his experiences doing that, so, and I recommend.
A couple,
Yeah,
actually.
he's actually written a couple, right? So his latest book is from, I don't know, HarperCollins or Random House or something like that, and it's all about his entire career, but he did write a book that was mostly about his animation voiceover work, right? Yeah, pretty thin, but it's something that they sell on like Amazon or something.
Yeah, it's less than $10. Sinbad and Johnny and Space Ghost, kind of how you got into that.
Yes, I'm sorry, I have to handle convention business, so you guys vamp for just a second, and I'll be right back.
Do you have any memories of original primetime? I mean, you do, but I mean, how you were impacted by it? Because I envy you having seen it in '65 on primetime.
When I was 5, yeah, I remember we used to look forward to Saturday morning cartoons, which they don't have it anymore. And they used
We
to
do
look
here, we've been showing cartoons all morning.
Yeah.
Including Johnny
The
Quest.
CW was the last
Yeah.
bastion of Saturday morning cartoons.
Right.
But I'm interested in your primetime memories specifically, because like Anthony said a while ago, ABC, NBC, CBS all ran, different years of course, but all ran Johnny Quest on Saturday morning.
Right.
Over the course of, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, into
All
like the
three
mid-seventies.
all
Yeah.
three networks, yeah.
But originally it was like 7 p.m. our time. I remember me and my older sister would sit in front of the TV eating Jiffy Pop popcorn while we were watching it. Remember Jiffy Pop?
Absolutely.
You can't get it anymore.
Were you wearing your PF Flyer sneakers? Because that was the sponsor for Johnny Quest, and they
No.
ran a bunch of
I had
commercials for him during that.
cheap Kmart sneakers.
Okay, well,
Me too.
no shame, brother, no shame.
I was gonna say, I was a kid in the '60s. I remember the prime time.
You remember the prime
It used to be
time?
7 o'clock and moved it to 8. So
Yeah.
Johnny Quest and all that came on at like
I
7.
envy that.
I also think Astro Boy was on. He was an Animal Bear.
We can't just say Astro Boy in this panel. Don't need the competition. I envy you guys, I really do.
Yeah. Well, you know, the great thing is that even though we were later to the game, we still got to see it run, which was great, and more at a time that was more appropriate for us as younger kids. So it's a fantastic show. I know you guys have all seen it. I'm not going to describe to you how fantastic it is or why it is, because we all know.
We all know.
Yeah. But the success of Johnny Quest spawned, an entire slate of Hanna-Barbera adventure shows, such as Space Ghost and Hercules and Frankenstein,
Shazam,
yeah.
Birdman.
And oddly, the Tom Sawyer, which actually does kind of qualify for this.
Was that the show that was like live action?
Right, live action with 3 main characters and everybody else was animated. And that was something that was just fascinating to me as a kid, to watch that.
Yeah,
and go,
yeah.
how are they doing that? Of course, now I understand how they were doing it.
Just talk to nothing and we'll animate it later.
Yeah. And I really, one of the other things is, one of the great things about all of these is the music is just fantastic. By Hoyt
People don't know this, there are lyrics to the Johnny Quest theme, so.
Well, let's
I'm
hear
gonna
one.
sing them.
Yeah, no, you have said that, and now you must do it.
Sing them.
I'm gonna make an excuse for myself. I don't remember Johnny Quest on any of the major networks because our family, my dad was in the Air Force and we moved to England in very end of 1969, and we lived there for exactly 4 years. And so I don't, when it was had moved to the other networks, I was overseas. But I do remember watching Top Cat in the afternoons. But in England, they called him Boss Cat.
No.
That's because Top Cat was a dirty phrase.
I don't know why.
I think,
just
yeah,
remember,
I
I remember listening to the
Yeah.
song and going, they're saying Top
Whatever the
Cat.
slang
but
was,
so
which
they called him Boss Cat.
is even weirder because the biggest success Top Cat ever had was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, because did they make a Top Cat movie recently, specifically for the Mexican audience?
Oh, really?
Interesting. It's kind of like the Phantom in
Really?
Australia,
Yes.
right? Yeah, like nobody remembers the Phantom except the Australians for some reason.
Yeah.
Right, he's huge there. He's like Batman.
Yes, he's like
Superman.
Batman. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
Johnny.
in my neighborhood in Patterson, New Jersey, where I used to live, Top Cat was actually Ghetto Cat.
Whoa.
Because he lived in a garbage can.
Yeah, he lived in a garbage can.
So that's what we used to call it. We used to call it.
Oh, you used to call him that. I thought he was listening to that
No.
local TV guy.
Yeah.
Well, probably, it is New Jersey's.
That's right. Well, you know, moving on to Space Ghost, obviously Space Ghost is probably the second most popular, or I don't know, he may well be the same popularity as Johnny Quest. It's hard for me to say. I love both of them, and I think that Space Ghost obviously saw an enormous resurgence in the '90s with the Coast to Coast thing. Where our long lost friend C. Martin Broker, who we love and miss very much. But that was kind of the takeoff on Batman and Scott McCloud's Space Angel and a couple of other things, right?
And by far, the strangest thing that happened was on Batman Brave and the Bold. They literally had they always had like a short little segment before the actual episode started.
Yeah.
And
Some
they
of
had
the animated
Batman
series, right?
Yeah. This is Brave and the Bold, and on that one, they had a short segment where it's Batman meets Space Ghost. And at the time, all of the original voice actors were still alive, and they all reprised.
That's great.
I was in heaven. Yeah, we
Yeah.
saw the bat plane and the Phantom Cruiser.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And by
I couldn't
far,
believe what I was seeing.
yeah, and by far my favorite bit was this. A buddy of mine, Jason, was watching that, and he just thought, because usually on old Cartoon Network, occasionally, like in between, they'd have like an episode, and it just occurred to him because this is like around the 2010s. He just went, "Wait, they don't do that anymore. What's happening here?"
Right. I have a very entertaining Gary Owens story, if anybody would like to hear the voice of Space Ghost. Okay, so
Yeah.
I used to write for and advertise in a magazine called Toy Shop, which was for toy collectors and stuff. And I had another friend who did the same, and he sold a lot of Outer Limits items. He got a call one day from Gary Owens, who was looking for a copy of the Outer Limits Companion, which even back then was hard to find. This was like 1995 or 6.
Before the internet really.
Before the internet, back when Toy Shop was viable,
And I
because
bought
there
it.
wasn't, yes. And he
In
was
the
like, well, I
dark
don't have
days
a
of the
copy.
past.
He's like, I don't have a copy for sale right now, but I've got a friend who might. Let me see if he's interested. He was looking for a copy for a friend of his, Gary, that he owed a favor to or wanted a job from or something like that. And so I said, yeah, I've got a copy, I'll sell him. Send him to me. And about 2 days later, my phone rang, and I picked up the phone, I said, hello, and this voice said, Anthony Taylor? I said, yes. He said, hi, hi, it's Gary Owens. I was like, unmistakably, it's Gary
He was
Owens.
doing this while he was.
That's right, he was doing this. And he and I had the most amazing conversation about his work, about Outer Limits, about his friend. I said, yes, I'll tell you what, just because I'm such a huge fan of yours, let's do this. Let me send you this book for nothing, but maybe you could do a couple of answering machine messages for me. He's like, I'll do anything you want. Well, he did like 18 answering machine messages. He did it as Space Ghost, he did it as Powdered Toast Man, he did it as live from beautiful downtown Burbank. He did every voice he had ever done, or every shtick that he had ever done for me as an answering machine message, and I was just blown away. And when that tape came, he had also sent me, because I told him my great love of Space Ghost. I visited this later from the Hanna Barbera employee store, which was in fact a closet. They had a silk, special limited edition silk Space Ghost tie with him on the tie, and he sent it to me as a gift. And I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. So I wore that thing forever and ever. I didn't even wear a tie, but I wore that tie. So unfortunately, obviously, a few years later, Gary passed away, but I always enjoyed me driving around, and he was doing promos for cable channels and stuff all over the radio until the day he died. And in 2017, I had an apartment fire, and I lost that tie. I also lost a signed photograph that he sent to me with him in the standing room. It's like, best relatives, Gary Owens, to you and your lovely family. He was such a fantastic fellow. I am very lucky in that I had taken a picture of that photograph. So I do, in fact, have a photograph of that photograph. And for some reason, about a year ago, I was just like, I'm sure that was such a limited edition tie that I could never replace it. But let me just look on eBay, and I swear to God, there was one on there for $20 with free shipping. And I was like, I can't even imagine that this is not $250.
It was Gary whispering in your ear.
I think he was Gary whispering in my ear. And I got it, and I have it to this day.
It's weird how things like that.
I know.
I've had similar stuff.
But you know, Gary was a ubiquitous voice in most of the Hanna-Barbera stuff at one point or another.
In a couple episodes of Green Hornet,
Yes.
as a newscaster.
Right.
Obviously, Laugh-In made him famous.
Laugh-In made him famous. Yeah, made his face famous. Obviously, his voice was already famous, but yeah. Such a nice guy, and I was glad to have had that
We have
couple of
a,
conversations with Space Ghost.
I'm linking him, yes.
Well, Gary Owens related. Didn't he do the voice of Inspector Gadget in the pilot?
I'm not sure
No?
about that. He will.
actually, that is correct, he did,
Okay.
in fact. In the original pilot, it was, and also because they wanted to look more like Clouseau, in the original pilot, Inspector Gadget has a mustache.
Right.
Ah,
Well, it's been so long since I've
thank
seen
you.
that.
I didn't know
Just in case anybody may not know, there is a Johnny Quest and a Space Ghost comic book. I mean, they currently have a crossover called Space Quest where they're
that.
together.
Loving it. It's great. I'm not a huge, I've been buying every issue, and I will buy every issue. I'm a test tube Trekkie, and I will buy anything with Herculoids and Johnny Quest.
There's a,
Space Ghost on the cover. Don't love, I don't know how many of you have read them or bought them. Not crazy about the Space Ghost, even though I will, promote it, but I think they're doing a bang-up job with Johnny.
Yeah.
And the Johnny art team, I guess the writers too, are on Space Quest.
I want to say it was
And
a,
really enjoyed both the Johnny and the Space Quest. Recommend them highly enough.
and an older one, they also had Future Quest, that was like a
Right,
orange
from
one.
DC, that was from DC.
DC, okay,
And
yeah.
that one was, unfortunately, it was very low-hanging fruit as far as I was concerned. It was like, how can we put every super adventure character in the same adventure? It's like, well, let's open a multiverse. Why?
Better than they had any right to be, though. I enjoyed it.
Well, you know what, maybe so. I just think the whole concept of trying to tie them all into a single universe.
Despite the fact they did show up repeatedly in other people's stuff.
Yeah, exactly right, yeah. Is just kind of like, it's
Oh,
troublesome.
you
Why
mean
bother?
like the last
It's
few episodes of
just,
Space Ghost?
Oh, yes, so where he meets the Hercule, it's the, what was it, it was basically his Legion of Doom kind of thing.
yeah. And I think that kind of worked better than Future Quest because it was not all tied to this singularity event. It just was like, oh, it's Galactus meets.
Actually, it was more
Hanna-Barbera.
Cthulhu versus the
It was a
Hanna-Barbera.
little of both, yeah, it was a little of both, you're right. So, I can't really recommend that, but I will say that Ollie's has them for like $4.99 in the 2-volume thing. For that, it's not necessarily a bad pickup. You know?
It was kind of cool seeing characters you don't see much, like Birdman and
True,
Frankenstein.
and I'm always a
Good
sucker
argument,
for those
too.
tertiary and quadriary characters like that and bringing them out and giving them, you know, narratives rather than just making them, you know, my power bands quickly, or whatever, so, yeah. But, yeah, so that's, you know, those are the kind of the two big ones, but you know, when I was a kid, I had a great love of Frankenstein Jr. and of Shazam, and even of Moby Dick, and some of the
That's
other.
true. Yeah, we did.
Right, you know.
Did you ever make it up to Kings Island back in the day where they
I
had
didn't,
that
I know,
fantastic world of Hanna-Barbera, and you go through and see the animatronic figures and,
I know, it's amazing. I will
Moby
say
Dick
that
was in there and,
No kidding.
yeah, all that stuff, yeah.
in addendum to the Gary Oldman
My
story, as I mentioned, I did get to visit the Hanna-Barbera employee store closet. In 1996, I was in Los Angeles for an event, and I was writing for a Toy Shop magazine, and I was doing a story on Johnny Quest collectibles, and I contacted the studio and said, hey, could I come by? And their press liaison was like, sure, come on by. He actually took me to lunch at a very nice place, and then took me to the studio, which was a reconditioned high school, of all things, mid-century modern high school, which was great. And I got to visit all the departments, and unfortunately Bill and Joe were not there that day, but he took me into Joe's office and was like, yeah, you know, if you need to rifle around in his desk a little, I was like, dude, I'm okay, I'm not gonna do that. But it was a fantastic experience, and not long before they sold out to Warner Brothers and closed that building, which is now condos. And sad, you know, because that was the end of a hell of an era.
What year would that?
96. Yeah.
And their original building on Cahuenga is still there. It was
That
going to
was
be
the building.
bulldozed multiple times, but now it's been registered as a historic
Yeah,
building. And
Correct.
I don't know what's in it now, but
it's condos.
it is condos.
It is
Okay,
condos. Well,
so-
you know what, I will say it was condos, but that was 10 years ago. Who knows, they
What
may
it
have
is
changed
now.
it out now. Yeah. But it was amazing to walk those halls and see all the art that was on the walls, and you know, when you come out, right across the street was
Did the video.
Cell Color.
I did the video.
Which was the enormous provider of ink and celluloid and all the supplies that they had. They basically had their shopping store across the street from them, because these guys were like, why would we go anywhere else, right? You know, because our main customer is literally 100 yards away. So, yeah, it was great.
Well, it's, I mean, you know, for me, I'm out in LA once or twice a year, pretty much on a regular basis, and it's always aggravated me to drive by there and that it was not turned into a Hanna-Barbera museum, you know, because it's just, face it, I mean, around the world, it's people would come from all over the world to see it.
100%, because
And they're right there at Universal anyway, just go down the street, take a trolley, and you can go to that. It could be part of the Universal Studio Tour, as far as that goes. But,
aside just from the super adventure stuff, Hanna and Barbera really are enormous landmarks in the film
Pop
landscape.
Tom and Jerry, I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
Tom and
that's
Jerry,
really-
they created Tom and Jerry. Yeah, that was how they, you know, started out, was at MGM Animation and created those characters, and then as television came around and started to take over, they were the ones who figured out how to make that work.
Rough
And the other irritating thing right on that road that a lot of people might not know about is as you move up Cahuenga, you get towards the rise in the top of the hill there as you go past Hanna-Barbera, is Dean Jeffries' override.
That's right.
And that's when Dean built the Black Beauty and the Monkey Mobile and the Landmaster and all this stuff. And Steve McQueen would come in over there and would hang out on weekends. And I think the family still owns the property, but
They do.
they rented it out to somebody. But it's just like, but there's nothing there to tell you that Dean was there. You know, it's like all of this incredible Hollywood pop culture movie and automobile history happened right there. And there's nothing to tell you that it was there. And it's just really heartbreaking. Well, and that's the sad thing about the film industry overall in Hollywood.
Exactly.
Is they pave over everything, and it's just like, and to me, that is just, to go and stand there is almost, it's more extraordinary than going on to one of the old studio backlots in
it's
some ways,
fantastic.
because
I
a lot of those are
interviewed
that.
Dean for, when Bryan Singer was attached to a Logan's Run we made, I was friends with the guy, I'm still friends with the guy, who did all of his DVD extras and stuff. And I talked to Bryan, I said, listen, I would love to do the complete Logan's Run book. He's like, oh, I mean, I can't tell you yes, but I can certainly make sure that if this goes through, that you're the name that I put down for any of that stuff. I'm like, great. So I started doing interviews, and I interviewed Michael York. And,
Still needs to be one, still.
yeah, exactly. Well,
The anniversary's coming up.
well, I was going to say, all the interviews that I did, so I interviewed Michael, I interviewed William, the writer.
F. Nolan.
Yeah, William F. Nolan. And I interviewed Dean because I was over at Hanna Barbera, and I'm like, there's Dean, let's go talk to Dean. And took a lot of great photos of his shop and had a great afternoon with him and stuff. And yeah, it's sad that all of that is not something that people can visit and revisit, but we're way off topic.
Yeah, we are. Can I pull us back? First off, you had a question.
Well, Hanna-Barbera related, have you ever heard of Yogi Bear's picnic basket?
Yeah.
Picnic basket soundtrack with some of Hoyt Curtin's music cues on them?
No, this is a restaurant.
Yeah.
They actually, their main selling point is honey fried chicken.
There's still like one of those.
There is one in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do they have the boo-boo platter?
I believe they still do, yes.
No, like never.
Okay.
The internet exists today, remember this.
Yes, it's past Columbia, about an hour, I can't remember if it's east or west, past Columbia.
Yeah, now Alex Toth, did he only work on Johnny Quest or?
He did a lot of stuff.
Herculoids.
Yeah, because I thought,
He did
the
3
guy
to
that
6
goes
years
to-
for
That's what he-
Toth, but yeah.
Yeah, Toth, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It is,
Be one of those guys.
he worked on just about everything that was adventure related for Hanna Barbera,
Super
including
Friends.
the stuff from Super Friends, including the stuff from the Banana Split show, the Three Musketeers and all that.
Concept designs for like
Concept
Roland
design,
Dining
he would do
Room.
model sheets for everything.
Yeah.
I have, I hesitate to say this, I don't want to curse it, but I have,
It is in the ether
putting
now.
together to do an Art of Johnny Quest book.
Oh,
and I've got a
please.
publisher that's interested in it, and we just need to kind of like
Yes.
figure out if that's
That would
gonna
be a
happen.
big seller.
I don't know if it would be or not, but
I
I'd
think
buy
it's gonna
one.
be. I think
And I know you'd buy one.
It's
These guys
generational,
would
but it's
buy it.
generational.
Well, the trick is though, if you do
Everybody
that,
loves
you
them.
might also want to include the real adventures of Johnny Quest in the back of it, because there's a lot of
It would
kids
be-
like me who grew up with that.
Yeah, exactly right. It would be something that would need to be fairly comprehensive and include some of the other movies that they did. And by the way, did anybody see the Tom and Jerry and Johnny Quest movie?
Oh, yes.
It was
It's
fun.
I was
It's
just
actually
gonna bring
fun,
up
yeah.
Spy Quest.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of fun. I
yeah,
like it.
it's wonderful.
They actually, it wasn't embarrassing what they did with the Quest team.
That's right.
They could have easily super kiddified it. Who's seen Spy Quest here?
I have.
Tom and
It's
Jerry
respect.
Spy Quest? Nobody?
Yeah,
Highly
the trick is though,
recommended.
I
I
was
don't know
held
where you
off from
find
it
it.
because of that suspicion.
Do what?
I held off because of that suspicion.
Well, you know, even
Yeah.
even if it was the worst, getting it and seeing it, and you could be like, okay, I've satisfied my curiosity, it's garbage. I've seen it once and I never have to watch it again, but it's surprisingly good. Sure, it's Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry are true to the characters.
Exactly
The
right.
Quest team are 90% true to the
agree.
characters
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I don't know what we want to call the Dragonfly, because I don't think that's the official name, but
Right.
but
Quest Jet.
the Quest Jet is in there, right?
Yeah.
And the living quarters and the island and everything is on there, as I recall, and it's surprisingly good. So hunt up Tom and Jerry Spy Quest, I think is the official name, right?
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, hunt that up and give it a
Dude,
look.
I mean, it was an unexpected, I was like, wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, and who does the voice of Quest? It's Messick?
Tim
Yeah, I think
Matheson.
Well, he's
No,
a
no,
computer.
Right.
Is he a computer?
Something like that, yes, he's got like a little cameo voice.
But I was thinking,
Internet says Reese Hartwig.
Then I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that whoever provided Dr. Quest's voice
Oh,
was.
Dr. Quest.
Was it Don Mesnick?
Well, Messick, he might have been dead by.
Dr. Quest was Eric Bauza.
Yeah, I'm wrong about that. I was thinking they had one of the original voices. But anyway, Tom and Jerry's Spy. And the animation is really good too.
Yeah, the animation was again better than I thought it was gonna be based on, you know, kind of where animation was.
For a straight.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you are fans of animation, 90% of the animation, like roster of talent and management and everything else is out of work right now. It has been decimated in
Yeah.
Hollywood. It's
Oh, yeah.
basically, everybody I know that worked in animation over the last 4 decades has been like a desert for the last year and a half. It's frightening.
Well, largely because they just kind of, well, the sad fact is they've gotten to the point to where, hey, tax write-off.
Yeah. I don't know how long that's gonna last, because sooner or later, the IRS is gonna say, you know what, we're tired of this. If you don't wanna make the movie, don't make the movie. Spend the money and pay the taxes, you know?
I mean, you have to make a movie at some point. You're a
Exactly
film
right,
studio.
otherwise you're gonna take
And
away your
funny
statuses.
enough, this is why the day the Earth blew up
Yes.
was saved, not because of Warner Brothers, but because Catcher Entertainment, and they do like a lot of like art house
They
stuff.
do, Catch Up Entertainment pulled that right out of.
Coyote versus Acme too.
Yeah,
Coyote
because
was
that one made enough money for them
Right.
that they managed to get that.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they're doing that, you know?
Yeah, buy the Blu-ray so they'll keep
Right.
doing this stuff.
Right. There was a pretty good slate of merchandise, all around the Hanna-Barbera adventure stuff, Johnny Quest stuff, and Herculoids and Space Ghost.
There needs to be
Yeah,
more.
Both
Yeah,
both
the sad
original-
thing,
Huh?
I'm sorry. The sad thing is the one thing I always wanted growing up as a kid, one of the promos on Cartoon Network was the Johnny Quest board game that they would do for that.
I know.
And I wanted that to
And the only thing that
exist.
ever came out was the card game back in
Yeah.
the day. Unfortunately, they didn't make that board game, which did look like, I would have bought it for sure.
There was a
yeah.
board game,
What's their board game?
Transgram.
Yeah.
Oh, Transgram did do a board game.
No, but you almost never see it, and never.
That's
come-
true. And
There used to
also-
be one on eBay, it's literally $1,000.
I'm not surprised, and also, as I
You
recall,
never see it.
well, but it's off model. It's kind of like chibi looking a little bit, right, don't you think?
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
Most stuff was, most of the lots and stuff.
Right. Oh, look, man, Jesus. They had, Huckleberry Hound red on the Soki and stuff like, you know, it was like there was like no adherence to any sort of model sheets. Apparently they didn't give licensors any sort of guidance whatsoever, other than, well, just watch the show and try what you want, you
Well,
know?
not to mention the Gold Key Johnny Quest comic book where Race has the reverse referee shirt, doesn't he have like white and
Yeah,
black
it's like a
horizontal lines?
I don't even remember that, was it just one issue or something?
Just
Just a single issue, yeah.
But anyway, a lot of that stuff back then, you know, before they got big into licensing, was off model.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I guess there's a.
Well, I think they were probably handling it themselves through the studio and had no idea how to do that. And so they hired Licensing Corporation of America to handle all that stuff. And Licensing Corporation of America was like, whoa. You know, these guys have to look like they do on television or we're not gonna approve it. And then people are like, oh, okay.
2 seconds, hold on. If you look on the internet, there's a kid's toy that has little figural Huckleberry Hounds and Yogi Bears and Boo Boos and all that, and they're little tiny cigarettes.
Yes, they are.
And so, I mean, that's the kind of stuff.
But you know what, that was,
Watch Yogi
you
smoke.
look at it, that says Licensing Corporation of America on it.
That was licensed.
Because they were listening, the Flintstones had smoking commercials, they were sponsored.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it shows it there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of off-model, have you ever seen the Star Trek Gold Key? Speaking of Gold Key.
Oh, sure.
Well, I guess I have, since I wrote a book about it.
Really? Seriously?
Licensing stuff. I wrote a book about the guy who did the covers, and
Oh.
it's in the dealer's room.
Oh,
So
it is.
Come see me
Is
after.
it at your table?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
Oh,
Star Trek
yeah,
book,
yeah,
you
the
know,
George, yeah.
George
yeah.
Wilson.
Oh, I ordered mine from Amazon, haven't gotten it yet.
It's hard to say when you're gonna see
Yes.
it. You might want to cancel.
Really?
Yeah, because it was handled by Diamond, and Diamond has exploded, or imploded, I should say.
Okay, so I should buy it here and just cancel my order.
And I can sign it for you.
I'll do it.
And it'll be $5 less.
I'll do it.
And no taxes.
I'll do it. Okay.
Yes, it was off model. Do you know why it was off model?
Well,
Because it was drawn by Italians.
Yeah,
Who had never seen the show,
Yeah.
and they would just send some photographs, still photographs that were publicity shots. So that's why the Enterprise has like, lightning coming out of the nacelles and stuff.
Yeah, and it's
But
like,
they didn't know, they thought they were rockets.
and it's like, they thought the interior was like a submarine.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
you'd see frames where you could tell where the edges of the publicity photo was, and then there'd be like, it looked like the Enterprise, and then they'd have to draw up a panel, and there'd be weird pipes and, pressure things and.
Yeah, if you really want to watch or see some amazing trippy artwork, look up Polish promotional posters for American films.
Yeah.
Because it's basically, this is again in the Eastern Bloc at the time, where they just had, here's what the movie is supposed to be about, and they just get the description,
Right.
and it is some surrealistic stuff.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued, yeah. I like- yeah, I remember.
I've seen like African movie posters like that where they'll take a drama and like have people stabbing one another,
Right. And the Thailand posters are great too.
Yeah.
A lot of the Eastern Asian posters from the smaller countries are just whack. Just whack. And we are way
Way
off.
Getting back on the topic, I was wondering what your thoughts about the Gene Dietrich, Tom and Jerry stuff.
Is that on top of that?
It's Hanna-Barbera.
Getting close, getting
Well,
back,
yeah,
getting
it's-
back.
Doesn't really fit that super adventure part of that.
Well, it's pretty weird, man. I mean,
Okay.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about. I've seen those. They're very bizarre.
it's like he contracted the animation out to like the cheapest company he could find in Yugoslavia.
Yeah, Czechoslovakia or something.
I've
Czechoslovakia.
seen those, and it's like a multiverse version of Tom and Jerry,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The sound
Tom and
effects are
Jerry
very
is
odd,
not
the music
Tom.
is very odd, yeah,
Yeah.
those are tricky. Well, I have a question for the audience.
Have a question.
What of the adventure cartoons that Hanna-Barbera did that haven't already been given this treatment, would you want to see today done as a live action movie? Like a Pixar style animated movie?
Well, first off,
That's my Hercules.
Yeah,
yeah,
for me, it's Johnny Quest, Hercules, and Space Ghost.
Yeah.
I would say I love the Johnny Quest movie that Pixar already made called Big Fun.
Yeah.
It was Johnny Quest and the Fantastic
Yeah.
Four.
And you could do Quest animated like Pixar. I mean,
Oh,
so you wouldn't have to worry about the kids getting older or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would be the way to handle that. But I would love to see Herculoids or Space Ghost is completely live action, if they could pull it off, yeah.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
one that I'd like to see, and this again, me being younger in this case, is the,
It's not a crime, you
Yeah.
can say, it's okay.
yeah,
We're
but
not
it's
saying-
it was probably one of the last adventure series Hanna-Barbera, still as Hanna-Barbera did, Pirates of Dark Water.
Right, that was a good show. It
And
really
again,
was.
one that was never finished either, so.
Well, it was a syndicated thing, I think, right?
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Was it on,
Yeah. It was probably afternoon,
Yeah.
after school stuff, yeah.
They had merchandise for it too.
Oh, yeah,
They
there's
had
video
an actual
games,
figure line.
toy lines, yeah.
As I recall, it was very popular. It was contemporary of Silverhawks and Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
This was more late, probably early 90s when it
Yeah,
happened,
okay,
so
okay.
that was just a,
Slightly after.
yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of really good adventure animation stuff, even from American studios in the 80s and early 90s, capitalizing on that as they moved, as the act that did not allow programming towards children to be commercialized was phased out.
Yeah.
Toy companies actually put together some fairly decent shows to sell toys. Based on that was one of them. I liked Dark Water. It was good. Yeah.
I remember the animation being superior.
Yeah. I'm a big Thundar the Barbarian fan.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Ariel, run!
Yeah, that's the,
A lot of fun.
oh, good Lord, because, hey, kids, watch the world die every Saturday morning.
True. Let's not even get into, I just went into to, the jetpacks, the car, the Land Rover, Saturday morning live action filmation.
Oh.
R2 that took place
R2,
in,
yeah.
you know,
Where they-
basically after the world ended. So
Well, they filmed it off the Fox Ranch.
Well, it's because they built that giant thing and they still had it, so they might as well use it for something else.
Yes, for spacecraft. That was the front end of R2.
And then Jason Stark.
Jason Stark.
Yeah.
You know, listen, man, these guys didn't have much money to work with, and
Yeah.
they
Release
maximized it.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Filmation, they ended as like they were basically almost a family company near the end.
Yeah, they absolutely were, sure.
And which is why you had so many of their actual animators also do bit parts as voice actors too.
Right, right. And I mean, that happened in Hanna-Barbera too. They were basically a family thing until they sold to Warner Brothers.
Well, and what you gotta respect about Filmation is, I think from what I understand, they were American, we don't wanna stray too far, more than we normally already have, but apparently they were all American-based and
Yeah.
didn't ship out there
Yeah, that's part of the reason.
Their animation never.
like Hanna-Barbera did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would say
They were strictly a U.S. company. That's actually
Which you
why
gotta
they did
respect.
all that. Yeah.
So they were a really true family company, so.
Yeah.
So the consensus is, what, Herculoids? Like
I
Scott's
think Hercules would be a
question,
great animated thing. Because of the characters that are not human and not even like human looking.
Yeah.
I think it would look better as animation.
Agreed.
On some level.
I think it's just see the.
Well, the creatures would, yeah.
Yeah, the leap, was it leap?
Leap.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they could do that, you know.
Well,
like,
actually-
Dragon, you know, the.
Right, right.
Well, Gloop and Leap would be
Zombie.
easy. This is me coming from having done some animation work. Is actually easy in the fact that, hey, those are just blobs. We can do a lot with
Oh,
blobs.
yeah, absolutely. So it could be, I mean, it could be live action and CGI stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know. I hearken myself back to Incredibles, which was such a Hanna-Barbera movie. You know, and how well executed it was by that whole team.
Yeah.
And I would love to see an actual Hanna-Barbera property with that kind of treatment. Of course.
Well, it's a crime they haven't done some form of Johnny Quest,
Well,
whether it's
it is.
live action
It
or whether
is.
it's animated or whatever.
Your friend Doug-
Honestly,
Live
the
action.
sad fact is, the
He's
one
gonna do
character
that.
from Johnny,
Yeah.
sorry,
What? Pardon?
I'd like to see brought back, even because he is just such an odd character, the Pod Pasha.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Just like, he's a wizened man in a helicopter?
Yeah, that's right.
What were you saying, Tony?
I was just saying that Fred Decker, filmmaker Fred Decker, the director, had a live-action Johnny Quest project, almost greenlit at one point. and
I've got
for
that
some
script
reason-
and it's
Yeah.
very
And
reminiscent.
we are
Yeah,
showing Fred Decker's The Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the
Well, when you look at Monster Squad, you know he can pull off Johnny
He can
Quest.
pull off,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Fred's very talented.
It's sad it
He's
didn't
got,
happen.
he's got that good, that nostalgic value to him, like Joe Dante did to like Ant-Man and
Yeah,
stuff, so.
exactly.
Any love for, I don't know, Shazam? No.
I like it, yeah, I mean, I like it, but every time, now Shazam's like one for me because of that, TV Funhouse parody that they did. Did you ever see that one?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
don't think I saw that one. So it's pretty-
Totally ruined that cartoon show for me.
Well, Johnny got smacked upside the head with, what was the other?
Venture Brothers,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Bird, what, it was Harvey Birdman turning
Wall.
law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
There was a race.
About
not
the
very
biggest
aggressive.
TV show.
Yeah, it's,
I guess we're big enough for a little
It's
bit
Ace and
of
Gary.
parody, aren't we?
Yeah, that's my question about, like, turning Johnny Quest into anything today is, would you make it a period piece, would you put it in the modern day? I think it would.
I would definitely make it
I
sixties.
think,
Um,
see, I
it's
would
gotta
say
be in the
make it
60s.
Yeah,
Earth
honestly-
828, you know what I mean? And so that I may put it in Earth 828, the Fantastic Four's liminal space. So that it's a mid-century modern kind of a thing that's not specific. Yeah.
But-
That's part of the.
But then the problem with that is the same thing, little problem I had with the new Fantastic Four movie, and it's nitpicking. But the thing that made Johnny Quest cool was they had that gadgetry that Quest had developed, that nobody else really had that.
Right.
And so when you put it in, even in the new Fantastic Four film, and I'm getting off topic, but I'm talking, but you know, what made Reed Richards and them so fantastic is that they had the stuff that they had, and now the world seems to have that kind of tech already. It was like, to me, it was better when he was really the developer of all that. And that was cooler.
That's
Yeah.
why I think it should be a period piece,
Period
because
piece, yeah.
if you set it in modern day, everybody's got a cell phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, Sean Connery James Bond doesn't work in modern day.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're gonna do Bond again, which they are, do it in another time frame out of today, because the gadgets, it's more fun in that era. Sorry.
My comment on that would be, in the same way that if you, even though some would argue The Incredibles is a period piece, it's sort of its own area. Have it be nebulous.
Yeah.
You could even have like, let's say instead of like, they have home movies, they're Laserdisc. Have it take it in different directions.
Sure, you could do that.
Did you have a question?
Yes, both of you.
I was gonna go in like kind of with Incredibles or maybe like the DreamWorks Magma movie, like it's kind of modern, but it's not really defined, so you have that kind of generic, timeless, outside of
Like never was,
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of.
Yeah.
futuristic.
Which is kind of back to the
Even though it's
Fantastic
gonna
Four
make
film.
sense.
Yeah.
That universe, yes.
Well, I was wondering if, your thoughts on Jack Armstrong, the All-American boy?
Yeah.
What about it?
Just thoughts on that? Like, I heard, like, they had wanted to do an animation on that, and they couldn't get it, so that's how Johnny Quest
You missed
came
the
up.
first few minutes of our.
We actually did miss it the first few
No
minutes.
problem.
Thank you.
I mean, I think the other thing too is like Johnny Quest always kind of felt like it was inspired by Tom Swift's books.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I think there was certainly.
Actually, there's another piece to that puzzle. There was a series called Rick Brant, and it's very similar to Tom Swift,
Yeah.
but it's better. I've read both series, and Tom Swift is hard to read, but
Yeah.
Rick Brant is really kind of well written,
Yeah.
and they're sort of science-based adventure stories. And there's some parallels, and people have tried to say, I wonder if this book series influenced Johnny Quest, because
Yeah.
there's an Indian
Oh,
fellow.
really?
Yeah, there's an Indian character in it. He's only in a few of the books. There's a dog, there's kind of there's a character named Scotty, and he's kind of a race band type character.
Really?
And Rick Brand is more like Johnny Quest.
They're
They're a little
sound
older.
like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Oh, and they live on an island. They live on this Spindrift Island where the dad does all the scientific work. It's very similar. If you have a chance or have
What
an
was the name of that
Rick Brant, and the early ones in the series are fairly affordable on eBay.
Yeah.
As the series progresses and they quit printing so many of them, they get more expensive. The last few books are like in the $200 range. So
Right, wow. Funny, I
they're-
never heard of that.
yeah, I mean, like I say, it's very obscure.
All right, guys, before you go, we actually have some prize and trivia questions, and Scott's gonna do that, okay?
Can I set this up before you set it up?
Sure.
Scott, stormerbrooks.com, right?
Yeah,
Stormerbrooks.com.
That's my website.
Scott has done 2 complete issues. I'm talking about covers, letter pages, and the whole 9 yards, and you can read them online for free at Stormer, STORMERBROOKS.com. 2 complete issues of Johnny Quest.
And
I printed up some, just for fun,
Oh,
out of my pocket.
These are never for sale.
That's all right.
We're not selling these. These are just freebies for lovers of the
well,
show.
it's golden monkey.
Oh, is it Golden Monkey?
I'm a huge Johnny Quest fan, and I just was always bothered that there was never a comic book series. And I'm a big comic book guy.
I mean, there was, but not until the 1980s.
Well, yeah, that's true, and that one's good, but my problem with reviving anything is that people want to change things. They want to change things. They want to add characters, they want to, age people up, or, give them complicated backstories and things like that. And I just wanted to make the comic book as if it had been made in 1965, when the show was airing, and just was as close as I could make it to the cartoon. So,
And Scott conceptualized, wrote, penciled, inked, colored, lettered, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
This is completely done by him.
so
Wow.
this one was the first one I did, even though it's numbered number 6. And this one was the second one I did, even though it's numbered number 2. So I did a little ad for the cartoon show on the back.
Wow.
Wait till you see the inside.
I guess I
think, anybody know Steve Rude, the artist
We
with
can only
the
look
feature
at
quest?
online.
Yeah,
I love Rude.
very
These are
limited
fabulous.
number, but I'm gonna give away these two and this, two of these posters that I did.
Wow, wow.
Let me see that.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway,
Is the invisible monster show up in
no, you know,
That to me that is like one of the scariest things
It really
that was
is.
ever put on
I would
television.
love that. That's
Funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was coming up with these, I was like, I don't want to do the invisible monster because that's already been done. It's like the best. I'm gonna do like a mid-range one, like a Arctic splashdown.
Just slightly transparent.
Yes.
Well, I do want to try to, another thing that I find when people try to revive a thing is that they try to go beyond what's been done. They try to take the best thing and try to pump it up, and then it kind of falls apart to me. And that's why I have a problem with like the later Johnny Quest cartoons, because they seem a little too, race is too jacked. And they had to add some extra characters, and they got this weird.
The stakes are too high, the world is.
Yeah.
Look, they were secret agents who got into like little, small adventures, basically.
Exactly.
They could get out of it. And
Yeah.
the bigger ones were stuff like, oh, thank God I brought my parent bottle, right? Whatever, but, yeah.
Right, so I tried to keep it very modest, and anyway, so if anyone's interested, I thought, since I've got a limited thing, I would just ask, gosh, I've got so many people here, I feel like I'm gonna leave somebody out. I would just ask, besides the invisible monster, the person who did this,
Talking to the microphone.
sorry, can you hear me in the back? Is this the mom?
Don't whisper into the microphone, talk into the microphone.
With authority.
So, besides the invisible monster, the curse of Anubis, and what's the third one? The Robot Spy, which are probably everybody's top 3 episodes of that show. If you can name an episode that's another favorite of yours. Yes, sir.
That one-eyed pterodactyl.
That's not the name of the
That's not the
episode.
name.
Come up with a title.
Name the title of the episode.
Okay.
Bird.
Okay.
What you got, Tony?
Tour of the Terrible.
Oh, that's
Okay, you got me.
Yeah.
Well, Jim can say you over.
Oh, wow. Jimmy will set me up.
I thought he already had. Sorry.
Not to ask,
Anybody else?
does the Invisible Menace pop up? I know it's probably not
so
the time.
close, so close.
Actually, he already named that one anyway, so
Yeah.
let's move on from that.
It's gotta be the title of the episode.
Yeah.
Title of the episode.
I thought we'd have some real Johnny Quest fans here. I thought there'd be a real competition for this.
Yeah.
No?
Well, that invisible monster kid is what he got me, so it's
Okay. You made me the fall winner of one of those
Yeah,
prizes.
just tell them. We got enough to give away.
Mystery of the Lizard Man.
There we go.
Okay.
Somebody's
You
usually
pull that up on
no
your phone,
phones.
that's fine.
Is that really genuinely one of your favorites, or did you just remember the title?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great episode.
It is a great
episode.
Also, yeah, Creature from the
Well,
Wood.
the trick is though, with,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
this is actually a disadvantage for me because I'm great with faces, terrible with names.
All
And
right.
it's essentially the
Here's
same
another
thing with that.
question. Besides Johnny Quest, Race Bannon, Jay, Johnny, Haji, or Bandit, if you can name a character from the show.
Hard Rock.
See, that's the later show. I'm talking first season Johnny Quest, 64, 65.
Dr. Ben Quest.
All right,
Oh, sorry.
any other character? There you go.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
one.
Yes.
I was waiting for somebody to say that, because somebody's gotta say
I
that.
like this.
I don't want to say it, 'cause I got something.
Bandit
You already said
wasn't
that.
mentioned.
Oh,
He said Bandit.
I eliminated Bandit from there. Gosh, this is harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, because I named him already, and that was Pod Pasha.
There you go.
There you go. All right, so we got a winner over there.
What
I was
did
wondering
you say
when you
about
were gonna
Bandit?
say
I don't
that.
wanna, what did you say about Bandit? You already named him? or you
Yeah,
already
he
did?
was
like-
named, he
it's
said
like
besides
besides
the
the major-
character.
Come up with
Top
another one.
character.
Come up with another one. There's one in this.
I'm sorry.
Come up with another one. You can do it.
Dr. Zen. Dr. Zen.
You already said it.
It's hard.
We said Pasha, there you go.
I don't know.
So many great characters.
This is harder than I thought.
I'll say one,
Did
but
you
I
have
already won. but-
Oh, yeah, I already said it, so.
All right, well then, how should we settle this?
Throw it out, just
You're the
throw it,
master.
just like.
We got
All
full
right.
prizes, don't we?
Yeah, we
We
got
got two
full
posters.
So you're a winner, right?
I'm in there.
He's a winner.
He's the first one.
And he's a
We can set.
Who else is the winner? I
Him,
accept that.
him, and him. Okay, that's three.
Hey, oh, wait, don't you put a little thing like in the fifth element?
Back here. Back
Must be the lizard man.
Yeah, we're all set. We're all set. Okay, all right, guys. Come up and get your stuff and.
Okay, yeah. Who wins what? Is there?
Well, that's a better run. We'll find out.
Arm wrestle.
Run.
Arm wrestle. We good?
Thanks, guys, for coming.
Thank you, everybody.
Let the management know. All right, thanks for letting me know.
I love the cover on this one. This one just looks,
It's intriguing.
yes.